Hey, thanks, Ron. Thanks for having me. When it comes to Extreme Networks and AWS, I'm so happy that I went after Sanjay because it's really the strength of the cloud, the architecture behind the cloud. That is what really matters when it comes to your analytics and your machine learning and that big data, all of that telemetric data that is up into the cloud that we need to take down and we need to analyze and actually bring that to the forefront of all of you guys, all of the customers. You're going to hear a lot of things about customer experience today. You're going to hear a lot about user experience. I'm going to try to stay away about it, but a lot of people on the call, Extreme has changed. Extreme Networks and AWS, if you can see the vision that we've actually taken since 1996 when we came into play, we've been acquiring a lot of companies. And the reason we've been acquiring those companies is to keep up with the AWSs of the world, to keep up with the cloud. We needed to make sure that we were vendor agnostic. We needed to make sure that we were cloud agnostic. And we needed to make sure that we needed to provide that customer experience for all of the different vendors that come in within our platforms. Our company traditionally was a hardware company. Over the last couple of years, we had to have transitioned into a SaaS company. The reason is that is the direction of the world. But as you all are aware, not everyone is comfortable with getting to the cloud. Our job is to make them comfortable. Sometimes the uncomfortable is where you want to be, because that's when you're going to learn the most. That's where you're going to learn what AWS really provides and what it provided to us here at Extreme Networks. It actually provided 9 nines of uptime. So to think about being able to provide a management platform to, it doesn't matter who, you can be vendor agnostic. We're vendor agnostic. It doesn't matter if you're a Cisco environment or Arista environment. It doesn't matter if you're in GCP or if you're on Azure. It doesn't matter if you want to be in AWS and you're already crunching big data up in AWS. We're bringing the network manageability to the forefront, to the customers, to make that customer experience easier. When you start to think about the different features about our orchestrator, well, our orchestrators, it's an amazing orchestrator, but just like other orchestrators, we are hosted up into the cloud. And where we're hosted really matters. When you start to think about the public cloud, the private cloud, and the local cloud, you, the customer, need choices. And that's what we've been able to have the luxury of AWS, being able to have those choices to provide the customers to where they want to host that orchestrator, where they want to keep that telemetric data, and then how they want to see all this data and then report all this data back to their decision makers, so that we can actually provide value beyond just the data, because, data is bliss, data is gold. But if you can't read that data, data is useless. So what we've done with the AWS backbone, and as well as the GCP and Azure, is we took that data and we put it into a mechanism to where the customer can read it efficiently and then accurately and seamlessly in real time. Without that continuous delivery of all the RDCs that are spread across the entire globe, we would not be able to make this possible. Today, it doesn't matter where you're located. If you're located here in the United States, it doesn't matter if you're located in Oregon or in Boston. We have access to an RDC to where we can actually host that telemetric data. Why is that important? Some government entities, some financial institutions does not want that telemetric data going outside of their local regions. Or maybe they want to keep an actual VIQ locked down within a region. So we have to separate them across multiple different RDCs because, yes, they are afraid of downtime. Currently, we have over $1.9 million devices, going north of 2 million here very shortly. And the reason of that is because we're putting all of these access points, all of these devices up into the cloud. With every good SaaS company, you need security. AWS has some amazing ISO certifications that our other competitors rely on. Here at Extreme, we knew that for us to become bigger, for us to really move in that direction to become a SaaS company, we needed to make sure that we protected our customer data before they invested in us, because we do not want to be a forefront. We do not want to be an article up on one of the news sites. So we went ahead and invested in those ISO certifications that are so very important. The 27001, the 27701, the 17, multiple SOCs, as well as the Star 1 and Star 2 that's been completed. So to think about these certifications, you're like, what is an ISO certification? Well, The way that I like to look at it is this: we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's. We're making sure that all of the security on the back end, all of the customer data is protected. The number one security risk is humans. So we need to make sure that all of that data is protected from us, from ourselves, from our company. And then how that data is being treated all the way back with AWS and GCP as Azure. So now they don't only have one safekeeping, they have multiple safekeepings when it comes to your data. That's exactly what we're doing and what we're using AWS for, because we need that clear transmission. If you notice that we went ahead and run everything back through an orchestrator. This orchestrator is hosted in one of those RDCs, or it's orchestrated in a public cloud, or it's orchestrated in one of your private RDCs. It really doesn't matter where we're hosting this data, because what we're doing is we're relocating and adding everything into the cloud, and we're giving full functionality and availability to anyone, anywhere, at any time. That's the way that I like to look at the cloud, because we like to say something called the infinite enterprise. I like to think of that as being able to manage anything from anywhere and then report and fix anything from everywhere. We provide a Cloud IQ site engine. This is an on-prem solution. The cool thing about this on-prem solution is that with an SNMP, CDP, and LLDP, we're able to bring in third-party devices. So now we're vendor agnostic. It doesn't matter who you have in your data center. Why does that matter? That matters because now with the use of the cloud, we're able to take those third-party devices that were never meant for the cloud. We're able to take those devices and bring them up into AWS, give you full visibility of what's going on with those devices from anywhere at any time. When COVID hit, we really knew that we had to provide this functionality, this visibility to everyone that is available within their network. Not only to that, they have to be able to see the application data. They have to be able to see what application traffic is coming through, and they have to be able to optimize that application from anywhere at any time, especially those sensitive customers like K through 12. So think about during standardized testing. Think about first-person shooters. Think about all of these different things to where you have to, in a matter of seconds and minutes, go in and transition your network up within the cloud to actually provide that application first visibility across your network. So what we did is we went and acquired a company called Ipanema that did that within our SD-WAN platform that's hosted up into the cloud. It's going to be spread across all three, Amazon, GCP, and Azure, by March. So what that's going to do, that's going to provide full application visibility with an orchestrator, again, hosted up within the cloud. Now, not only that, you're going to be able to see that full visibility from those cloud applications that are hosted. So now you can take application visibility and manageability one step further. And when I say one step further, now you're going to be able to manage anything and everything that happens within that application. We acquire companies because we are becoming a cloud company, and we are a cloud company. We're taking that AWS, we're taking that backbone, we're taking all of that data and be able to host all of that data and providing our customer the experience that they're looking for. And when I say customer experience and user experience, they need to be able to access that data at any time. So what we do, we offer unlimited data up within our cloud platforms, which means they can go back through that telemetric data and they can access that data at any time and anywhere. But we offer a full sense of flexibility. When I say flexibility, we are providing the flexibility to where you can use any one of the secure web gateways, you can use any of the firewalls, and then bring that back in within our data, within our cloud, within AWS, GCP, and Azure, and we can use that seamlessly. If you're comfortable with that, no problem. We're not going to change you out of your comfort zone. Our goal with customers right now, with the economy that it sees and how we're seeing it, we need customers to refresh at their own pace. They can't go in and rip and replace an entire network. It's just not feasible these days. So what we need to do is we need to use our orchestrator. We need to use our cloud. We need to use AWS, which we built the backbone on. And what we need to do is we need to bring in those third-party devices, as you can see here. It doesn't matter the device. It doesn't matter the vendor. If you notice here on the right-hand side here, you'll notice that it's Cloud IQ onboarded, which means that those devices are brought up into the cloud. Some of those devices were never even meant to see the cloud or understand what cloud is spelt like. We're able to bring those devices in, and now you can see full port availability. You can see events, alarms, management, and all the different things that you want to see that's happening within your network. Within our SD-WAN platform, now you can manage that from anywhere. You can manage that up within that cloud, bring it back through those tunnels, and manage that on-prem instance from anywhere amongst any one of your branches, and you can do that securely. Not to mention bringing these third-party devices up into the cloud, which makes it very important. There's customer use cases that we're using today, and these customer use cases are bringing, no matter who you are, vendor agnostic, bringing those devices in, letting our software manage those devices for you, just as good as those devices are being managed within their vendor software. We can go ahead and manage those, bring them up into the cloud, and give you the availability to manage them from anywhere. When it comes to analytics, the truth about analytics is data in, good data out. The data is only as good as the cloud, the backbone that you're building on. You're only as good as that cloud infrastructure. That's why I'm glad I went after Sanjay, because infrastructure and the 6 pillars are everything. How you build your cloud and how it's built and the orchestrators and all of that software and how they come together is very important. We need to strengthen the security. And then the way to do that is to bring in all of these pieces together, is to using the on-prem, using the cloud as well as using the SD-WAN to really tight knit that together. Not to mention to using your local NAC to go into granular, get into policies, getting down into those fingerprints and getting down into those user devices. You have to be able to manage this from everywhere. And using the different RDCs and global RDCs, you can host that data, host those applications up, and you can get a full stream of analytics from that telemetric data. Within our Cloud IQ platform and within other applications, what you can actually go ahead and do is you can read the telemetric data that's being spread across all of the different VIQs that are spread across the globe. So what we're doing is we're actually identifying problems before it happens. Instant anomaly detection within the cloud. The quick data crunching between all of those cloudless devices gives us the availability to know about problems before they happen. And it doesn't matter if it's a hybrid setup. It doesn't matter if it's an on-prem. It doesn't matter if it's partially into the cloud. We're now able to see everything that's coming across by providing you a complete solution that is total vendor agnostic. When you start talking about the whole artificial intelligence and start to talking about the backbone of how everything is built, you're going to start to think about, it starts with compliance and security, how that data is processed, where is that data kept, how many people have access to that data, and how many people can change things. Within our environments, we like to make it very simple. We like to make it simple to where all of our licensing is done in the cloud. We actually have an LEM server that all of our licensing for all of our models. It doesn't matter if it's an on-prem solution, doesn't matter if it's in the cloud solution, everything reports back up into the cloud. We make it simple. One license, any device, any platform, one price. Why is that? Because we're making life simple for the customers. We're engaging that customer experience. We're building that customer experience so that when it comes to simplifying the life of our engineers, we need to do that sooner and quickly. Just think, if we go back in the day to where you have to renew a bunch of different renewals, go back and look at a bunch of different licenses, firmware updates, all of that feature that need to be done. Now I can do it within seconds up into the cloud. I can go ahead and back up. Even my on-prem solutions, I can go ahead and identify what needs to be done in real time into the cloud. Currently, we're the second largest cloud vendor in the industry. When you start to think about second largest, we are the furthest along when it comes to cloud development. Why is that? It's because we need to make sure that spread across all of our platforms, that analytics and the machine learning and the data that we're getting is important. It's what we can actually take that data from those devices, from those users, from those clients, and actually represent that data into an actual report that matters. And then we can actually in real time identify what is going on. When you start to look at something we call IQ Copilot, this is anomaly detection. This is identifying alarms and events before they happen. This is providing a solution to you, the customer, to where today you don't have as many engineers working in your back pocket. And if you do, those engineers have gone off and worked for a software company. So for you, you need to be able to see events and alarms and create workflows and scripting all within the cloud for all of the different devices in real time to automate processes. Now to think about the client experience and to actually take that data and make it explainable. And then not only do that, be able to fix the data and the issues that you're seeing. What we've done up in the cloud is we made it to something called digital twin, and we're able to bring devices up into the cloud before those physical devices are put into your network. using AWS and GCP and Azure, we're able to take those devices and validate what new platforms work within your environment. We can test it alongside APs and switches and SD-WANs that are working today, and we can see what's going on, what's going to happen. Maybe it's the wrong configuration. Maybe you want to install a new OS. We all know upgrading firmwares and going back and seeing images and re-uploading images can be a real hassle. Why not doing it up in the digital age? Why not doing it up in the cloud? Identify what's happening up within the cloud. And then when it's time to roll out, you know it works because we've already tested it against your network. That is digital twin. Just think about having your own little sandbox to play and do whatever you want and to create your own solution, no matter what that solution is. And then also being able to bring that to the decision maker, bring that to your CIO or CTO, and then show the business aspect on why you need this and why it's the right solution to go into the future. We start talking about Copilot, we start talking about mobile apps, the different mobile apps and being able to access it from anywhere at any time. Within our cloudless technology and our zero-touch provisioning, we're able to take an app, scan an access point, no matter where you are in the globe, and connect that back through the cloud to your VIQ. Why is that important? Not everyone has people in the field to hang up an access point. Not everyone has people in the field to put in a switch. Now they go and they scan that access point. Boom, that access point connects instantly back to that VIQ. Now your network is set up and running. Really simple, really easy. And we're doing this all because we're trying to reduce the touches that you have as an engineer, as the customer, and build that customer experience so that at the end of the day, you don't have to hire those outside resources. You can go ahead and do everything on your own and where it's going.
Hey, Kenny.
I keep bringing up leveraging big data, machine learning, the artificial intelligence, taking that telemetric data, taking those access points that may be failing in an environment, 20,000 miles away, and then taking that data with the cloud and identifying what's going on in your network. And it's doing that instantly. It's identifying what's going wrong with an access point. And then when it identifies what's going wrong within the cloud, it's going to go ahead and let you know your access point has a problem with this configuration. Your access point may have a problem. And what it could do is automatically open up a ticket and send you a new access point before you even know you're having a problem. That is what we're doing within the customer experience. And we're trying to make it very efficient. We're trying to combine big data, machine learning, as well as automate all of those IT processes for you, all within one platform, which is our Cloud IQ suite.
Kenny?
When it comes to the SD-WAN infrastructure, the reason I bring this into the AWS and the cloud discussion is because all of those applications that you're now monitoring that are up in the cloud, all of those different applications coming down through the cloud, you need to be able to manage those and protect that data. You need to be able to see where that data is going, what the streamline of that data is, not only from your internal LAN, where you can manage that, or from your WAN. You need to be able to manage it from your WAN direct to internet out to that internet provider, out to AWS. You need to see that traffic, and then you got to protect that traffic. That's exactly what we're doing in the cloud. And I highly suggest to take a look at an SD-WAN solution, especially a cloud SD-WAN solution, because by having that availability to see that traffic, to manage those applications going back and forth, and to prioritize those through your branches, it makes it incredibly important for you, the customer, to know what's going on. And then you can actually repurpose applications and then see if those applications are really doing what the actual providers are saying they're doing, or even the provider in general.
Hey, Kenny?
Lastly, I want to go through just a little bit of what just a closing here on what we do and why the cloud is so important. When you start thinking about Extreme, start thinking about agnostic. When you start thinking about AWS, to me, that is agnostic as they come. You can crunch, you can get servers, storage, big data, you can get compute all up into the cloud. And that's exactly what we're doing by providing you our network management platform. And we're using AWS to its strengths to be able to be accessed from anywhere at any time, provide you that constant uptime, as well as that deployment, making deployment easy for all of those devices, being able to set up networks no longer within hours, days, or weeks, but within hours, within minutes, being able to just plug and play and put those things in, no matter where you're putting that network. It's your choice. You bought the software, put it where you want it. That's the real decision when you start to think about it. And then last but not least, It's security. I want to close out on security because security really matters. When you're looking at a company, when you're looking at a cloud, when you're looking at the backbone on what that cloud was built on, look to see what security that they're putting in place to ensure your data is protected. That's what we're doing here at Extreme. We're making sure that the data is protected before you invest in us. So when you do invest in us, you feel good about your data. You feel good about your telemetric data. You feel good about going back. It doesn't matter how long to see that data and to compare that to data from today and tomorrow. Use that as bliss. Remember, data is ammunition. Ron, I'll be on to answer any questions if there is any, and I appreciate the time.
Sure.